In the last video, we talked about the greeting and the hook. In this video, we're going to talk about the topic, reason or purpose, and the overview guide. The topic, you can think of it kind of like your thesis statement from writing class. Basically, the topic, what it is, it's one sentence, something that's very easy to understand, and it should follow your hook. What's going to happen is you're going to greet the audience, you're going to give the hook, and then right after the hook, it should flow right into your main topic. A few examples of a topic sentence might be like this. If I was doing something, say, for my hobby project, I might say, today I'm going to be showing you how to dance like Psy. Or this morning, I'll be outlining the steps involved in packing a suitcase. Or we'll talk you through the steps for building great biceps and triceps. Now, if you look here, all the grammar is using future tense. Because in my topic sentence, I'm going to just introduce a topic and tell you what I'm going to be teaching you in the future. What am I going to be telling you in this presentation? So usually in the topic sentence, we want to use a future tense. The fourth step in the introduction is reason. And oftentimes we don't really think about this, but it's kind of important. We want to know why. We want to know why is the information you're giving us important to us. So you have to make it clear why you're giving us this presentation. If you're giving us a presentation on, for example, bike safety, you might want to explain to the audience, I'm giving you this presentation because I care for your safety. If you're going to give us a presentation about traveling, maybe you'll say, if you follow the steps that I'm going to tell you, you will enjoy your trip even more. The final step of the introduction is the guide or overview. Now, basically what this is it tells the audience the main points you're going to talk about in the body of your presentation. Usually there's 3 main points, and so you would tell the audience, first I'm going to talk about this, next I'm going to talk about this, and finally I'm going to talk about this. It makes it so the audience knows what we're going to talk about in the future, so they don't get as confused when they're listening to your presentation. Okay, let's go ahead and look at an example of a guide. If I was to give a presentation about my hometown, Seattle, I would go through the first 4 steps, and my 5th step might look something like this. In this presentation, I'm going to be highlighting 3 important aspects of my hometown. First of all, I'll tell you its location and how to get there cheaply. Secondly, I'm going to talk about my hometown's fascinating and unique history. Finally, I'll describe some of the great attractions there. Now, in this guide, there's a couple of things. First of all, you can see I'm using future tense again, because all of the information I'm going to talk about is actually going to be in my body. Another thing I do in this guide is I say first, second, finally. The audience will know what order I'm going to talk about these things. A second example of a guide could be something like this. This is a much shorter, simpler example. It says, in this presentation, I'll talk about the 3 best places to visit in Seattle: Pike Place Market, the first Starbucks, and the Space Needle. Whether you do something a little longer like the first example or the second example, it doesn't matter. But the audience now knows what you are going to talk about and in what order. So let's go ahead and let's look at an introduction, a full introduction from beginning to end. This is just a quick little example I wrote. So in my greeting, I might say, good morning everyone. I hope you're all doing well today. My name is Nate and I've been to over 30 countries and countless cities. However, today I want to tell you about the most amazing city. Now if you look here, I greet everyone, say hello, I tell everyone my name, and then I give my credentials. My credentials in this case is just that I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of countries and a lot of cities. That's my credentials. Next, my hook. Before I do you know what city gets more tourists than any other city in the world? It's Paris. So here I decided to use a rhetorical question. I asked a question about, what do you guys think is a very popular city for people to visit? And then I answer the question right away. I'm not waiting for the audience to answer it. I'm going to go ahead and answer it for my audience. The third part is my topic. Here, I'm going to explain to you why Paris is the most beautiful and romantic city in the world. Now, right in my topic, you kind of know I'm going to talk about Paris, but what about Paris? I'm going to talk about how beautiful and romantic it is. It says it right there in my topic sentence. The fourth step is the reason. Why am I interested in it, and why might the audience be interested in it? I spent only 1 week there, but it is a week that I will never forget. If you follow my plan, you can't help but feel the wonder, romance, and excitement of Paris. Now here, I said that I enjoyed my time here, but more importantly, I'm going to teach you how to enjoy your time in Paris. And then the fifth step, my guide. In this presentation, I would tell you why the Eiffel Tower, Arc de Triomphe, and Mount Martre are some of the most amazing places you'll ever see. Now in my guide here, you see the 3 places I'm going to talk about, right? I put it right there for you. You know, in my body, the first place I'm going to talk about is the Eiffel Tower. Second place I'm going to talk about is the Arc de Triomphe. And the third place I will talk about is Mount Martre. So you can see exactly what I'm going to talk about in my presentation. So just remember to say hello, introduce yourself, and to give your credentials. Also remember, it's very important to get the audience's attention at the very beginning. It's much more difficult to get our attention later. So from the very start, you want to try to get our attention. After you get our attention, state your main topic. Make sure it's clearly stated, and also give the purpose of why this is important for us to listen to as the audience. Then at the very end of your introduction, clearly state what you are going to talk about in your body. You talk about this first, this second, and this third. If you remember these things, then I'm sure you have a great introduction.